Hey, it's Kat at Kattalestv. There's so much stuff to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Tory dropped the DNA wasn't his video or audio yesterday. I'm not surprised. And I'm also not surprised that so many of the media haven't even addressed the video or the audio. And it's such radio silence. The so-called media, like TMZ and people like that, they're not telling the story. They're not telling the facts of the case. Tory's DNA wasn't on that gun, and DNA does matter. And as this case goes along, even though he was convicted by a dumb jury, and I mean by that is they were persuaded by emotional testimony, not by facts, and that's why I call them dumb. And also they were picked by Kattalestv, leaning towards LGBTQ values. And you got to understand why I'm saying this. I'm not against lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender, queer. I'm not. What I'm saying though is Kattalestv picked a jury more inclined to be very, very sensitive to women's issues and emotional testimony, not necessarily facts. And that's important when you're playing, I call it a chess game, but in the court of law, there's little subtle things that a regular person may not notice, but it's crucial on who you pick in the jury and if they're based on logic or emotion or what they're moved by. Because again, I tell you the story 100 times. There was a white guy on the jury with blonde hair, and Kattalestv said, "What do you think about lies?" And he said, "A lie's a lie," and he was kicked off the jury. So I'm a little overwhelmed about what to talk about because there's so much stuff to talk about. I don't even know. But one thing I noticed today when I was at the library trying to research some of Thee Stallion's lyrics, which I find hilarious, that the prosecution was trying to use Tory's lyrics against him, but they didn't even, nobody talks about Thee Stallion and what she, sorry, you guys, my fucking phone is full, I can't help it. I wish you guys would support me instead of ignoring my pleas for support, because you have no idea what I'm dealing with. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, the gun the pictures were shown in court, not the actual gun, because it seems like the hard evidence is conveniently missing, including the fragments from her foot. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 9mm, right? Anyway, in one of her songs called Shots Fired, I believe it's like, well, I don't want to, it's going to take too long for me to read the whole thing, but I believe it's like the second to the third paragraph of the song. You offered M's not to talk. I guess that made my friend excited. Now y'all in cahoots, huh? Okay, you puss in boots. So she's calling him a pussy. Or maybe she's calling Kelsey a pussy. Who the fuck knows? But oh yeah, well, she's calling him a puss because she says, you shot a 5'10" bitch with a 22. But I don't know who she's talking about, honestly. Talking about bones and tendons like them bullets wasn't pellets. Yeah, she's talking about Tory because Tory did a video where he talks about if she was shot in the foot, what it would do. And then she talks about she said 22. It was a 9mm. So I don't know if she's making stuff up or what the hell's going on, but she's a compulsive liar. If you haven't noticed that, like, she lies about the big things and the smaller things, and I just find it so annoying and atrocious that the prosecution trusted the words of a habitual liar, and then also instructed the jury that they're supposed to believe the lies of a liar in a court of law where the truth is supposed to set you free. But a lie is supposed to get you convicted, obviously, because these motherfuckers don't give a shit about the facts. I mean, it's really disgusting. I just feel like I didn't share this with you, but there's been people sending me DMs and like saying you're not gonna win and all sort of weird shit, and like people with bots with the by the end of their name, like it'll be like what is it, Satin Creator, and then it'll have like numbers at the end of their names or some weird shit. And what they don't realize, I'm used to that, because during the previous election, not this one, or maybe it was this one, but also the one with Hillary Clinton, there was a lot of Russian bots with the numbers on it, and I knew, as well as other people on Twitter, figured the shit out. So when I see people with numbers at the end of their names or 0 followers and shit like that, it's pretty much a PR team or somebody, a fan, making a fake account. I'm not fucking stupid. You notice everywhere I go, there's like noise, bells, planes, whatever. So anyway, she's like, keep your broke ass out of a rich bitch's business, and you go for your bitches too that's trying to get picked. Talking shit, I'll slide you thinking that you slicked. Anyway, you know what's sad? I've said this before. I'm not interested in negativity. I'm really not. Oh, God. You guys gotta look at the lyrics of this song, Shots Fired. She's a trip. The Breonna Taylor, clout chaser, she talks about all this stuff, and yet she gaslit the whole nation with her fucking story. I was gonna bring up that I was a victim of a violent crime, but I don't know if it even matters, because most of the people that are watching my videos are not necessarily people who think Tory didn't shoot Meg. It's like people, this motherfucker won't shut up. It's like preaching to the choir, but all I can say is, as a victim's advocate, I always encourage victims to tell the truth and to prosecute their abusers. But I never would encourage anyone to lie, because normally lies catch up to you, which is happening with Megan the Liar, also known as Thee Stallion, also known as Tina Snow. And you guys, I know a lot about gay culture, because when I used to live in Texas, I went to the University of Texas, by the way, I used to go to the gay bars. And, you know, a lot of people were having fun, dancing. You know, there's a whole subculture that does crystal meth, and there's still people that do crystal meth. I don't do it. You know, it's not my scene. But one of the things that's a byproduct of crystal meth is being what's the right word? Being promiscuous and not really remembering what you did when you're on crystal meth. I mean, you just look it up, you'll find it. But the funny thing also about life is, a lot of times when people brag and have to keep telling you they're the best, they're the nicest, the prettiest, the grandest, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, that kind of shit, they're normally very insecure people. And I find that her body language, we're talking Megan Thee Stallion, Tina Snow, it betrays her. Based on my experience and also being an actress and studying body language, she lies a lot. Her body gives it away. She looks to the corner when she's lying a lot. If you look at the Gayle King interview, you'll see it. But yeah, I find it so offensive that they think they're going to get away with this. But the sad thing is, they're used to getting away with it. They've been doing it all the time. There's all kinds of people locked up under shady police work or actual corruption or backroom deals. But you're actually getting to see this firsthand in real time. It's pretty wild. But I think I told you guys this before. I was going to write a book about the media and who runs it and how it works. And the hilarious part is, TMZ had a history when they first started coming out of hiring people that were, let's say, that told me they were addicts, or they told me they were manic depressive on multiple medications. And I thought TMZ exploited them. And some of the people were just, they were desperate to get a celebrity, and they were doing drugs while they were working. And I saw it with my own eyes. I'm not making this shit up. And so many of those guys would ask me for help. Meanwhile, they'd steal my questions. They'd go to Stallone after I interview him and say the exact same questions to Stallone. And Stallone would say to me, well, why are they asking me the same questions that you asked me 2 days ago? I go, because my agent submits my work, and then anybody who's buying media can look at it. So what TMZ would do would watch my videos that my agent was, selling or trying to sell for me, and they just watch the video and just copy the questions. But that's what people do here, and they steal. They steal from people that work, and they take all the credit. There's nothing new. I mean, even, what's his name? Sheehan is in court allegedly, well, he's being accused of stealing Marvin Gaye's music. But rich people do stuff all the time because they have the lawyers to fight and do it forever and forever. But in regards to this case is a piece of shit. It should have never gone to trial in the first place. The victim, the accuser, the witness is a liar. Kelsey changed her story. Sean Kelly changed his story after meeting with Kathy Ta. I honestly don't know what's going to happen because I don't trust these people. These people are desperate. Desperate people do desperate things. But if you're just a fan of Meghan and you don't look at facts, you're a very interesting person, because what does Meghan talk about? How does she talk about people? How does she deal with her best friend? She cheats on a guy that she set up her friend with behind her back, and calls them pussies and bitches and hoes, and calls everyone hoes and bitches. It's like she's literally doing the Willie Lynch abuse syndrome to a whole new generation. I don't like her. I really don't like her. And I'm sad that I even listened to Savage and I used to work out to it. Because, her vibration is so low. All she does is sell sex. And it's old. You gotta have more than just twerking and shoving your ass in somebody's face. I mean, I just find it so foul. Because she's literally, what's the right word? She's almost being racist against black people. She's such a stereotype of what white people think black people are. Not all of them, but some. And what, there was a woman, what's her name? Sarah Bartman. And literally, I believe the white fashion people created the bustle based on Sarah Bartman's body. She had a really large posterior. She's from Africa. And they would just parade her around and rape her and use her as a circus freak. And it's to me, Meghan's like that now. She's a new 2023 Sarah Bartman. She thinks she's free, but she's not, because she doesn't have as much money as you may think. And she's getting sued by 1501, and she says they have no money. And what's going to happen is, if the evidence keeps coming out and it proves that she's lied, I don't know how much her PR campaign can block everyone knowing. Because there's people like the Umbrellas who are going to let people know what a liar she is. And now people are starting to wake up. They're like, oh, well, her story changed 3 different times. Duh. I mean, I'm sorry, because I've been on this and I know. But even with that documentary, I haven't seen it, but people told me about it. Look at my Twitter feed, because sometimes I forget shit and you'll see it. But on the Twitter feed, they talk about the documentary, and they interview Megan Cuniff like she's an expert. But she reminds me of the people that TMZ used to exploit. They just don't know they're being exploited because their ego thinks they're loved and that they're so great, but they're not. If she doesn't know she's not an investigative reporter and just a paid shill, I just feel really sorry for her. But they keep posting her everywhere like she's some expert, and then she's making jokes about people's fashion. And if you saw her in the clip from that documentary, which is a joke, it's just a PR shit for Meg. Her shirt is gaped, like she doesn't wear a proper shirt or a blouse. You don't wear shirts when you sit that gape like that. You just don't. You just wear either a larger shirt. She doesn't even know about fashion. She doesn't know about size. She's not even smart enough, and they don't even respect her enough to fix her clothes while she's talking on film. That's how egomaniac she is. She's just clueless. So anyway, I'm going to end this video because I talked too long and my video probably stuck and it pisses you off. But again, you guys stop complaining. I'm doing the best I can. I have other jobs and I'm not getting paid for this. So if you want to help me, you can send me, what are they called? One of those sticks. Well, don't do that because I don't trust people. There might be some of the horse crew. But, yeah, if you're serious about helping me, you can email me and get my my PayPal, or I'll figure out another way. But, yeah, quit your bitching. I'm doing the best I can. I really don't. I don't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? All right, this is Kattalestv. I'll talk to you later. Bye.